All right. Welcome to another live stream, everyone. As you see the topic, I want to talk about this topic since it's in my own backyard. Being from the state of Louisiana, the Bayou State, I figure I'll touch base on this. It's been all over the news, social media news, because the world we live in today, we don't need the newspaper no more, let alone we don't need to watch the news anymore. We could turn to social media. That's what I told someone the other day. I say, I don't have the newspaper. I go to social media or YouTube. Most people do that. They go to YouTube for the local news. You got the news app. Your local news channel got apps. You don't need to watch the news no more. You could get the apps or go to social media. So welcome anybody that's coming to live stream. Welcome. Welcome, Sister Naomi. Welcome, Sister Rhonda, and whoever else come through. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. I know I don't do content like that as much. I might get back into doing content. I don't know. It all depends wherever life throw at me, or wherever the wind takes me, or whatever mood I am. You know. But anyway, this is a very tragic story. It really upset me when I seen it. So I'm gonna go pull up some articles about it and share my thoughts about it because it's very sad. What would drive a man to unalive his own seed like that? Let alone 8 of them, not just one, 8 children. And I don't like using the term kid because a kid is a baby goat. I touched base on that many times on my past streams. How this English language is a bastardized language. Why people call their children kids? It's children. You say you have a child, you have children, not kids. A kid is a baby goat. We human beings. We're not animals. We are human. The Most High made us to be human. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and trying to pull up an article on one of these news sites that don't ask for a subscription because y'all gotta be careful of that too. When you're going to look at news articles, some of these sites they want you to sign up for their subscription. I don't got time to be paying these websites, these news sites for a subscription. That's what's wrong with society. Everything is a damn subscription. Everything is a goddamn subscription. Okay, let's see if this one gonna cooperate with me. Cooperate with me. All right, Shreveport, Louisiana. By the way, that's up north. Shreveport, that's like up north in Louisiana. It's a rough city too. I know everybody talk about Baton Rouge, and New Orleans is a rough city. Shreveport is rough too. Shreveport is a rough city. Got a lot of violence and buffoonery out there, just like you got buffoonery all over the world. But anyway, Shreveport, Louisiana. A man in Louisiana killed 8 children Sunday in a shooting that authorities described as a domestic violence incident and was later killed by police after he fled in a carjacked vehicle, officials say. So he was killed by the police. He was unalived by the police. So he was a dead man regardless. If he would have turned himself in, he wasn't gonna survive in Angola because Angola is one of the most worst prisons in the world. Angola prison in Louisiana is one of the most worst prisons in the world. It's probably like, let alone I say like worst prisons in the world. It's definitely in the top 20. If you have to rank 20 worst prisons, well, all prisons were because nobody should not want to go to prison. And especially in America, American prison systems ain't about redeeming people. Most people that go to prison, they go in there, become more worse than they was before they enter that prison. But all right, it says the suspect's wife and a woman believed to be his girlfriend was also shot and seriously injured in the violence, which occurred at 2 homes in the early morning. Shreveport police said the children killed were 3 boys and 5 girls, ages 3 to 11. Shaking my damn head. 3 to 11 years old. The Caddo Parish Coroner's Office said police had previously given their ages about 1 to 14. So allegedly one of the children was 1 year old. This sick, demented bastard, man. This is sad. A gunman in Shreveport shot and killed 8 children, including 7 of his own, and critically injured 2 women. So it was a domestic dispute. Why target the children? Children are innocent. So all these children lost their lives. They didn't even live their life yet. They didn't even make it to the edge of accountability. Because according to the scriptures, the edge of accountability is 20. 20 years old is the edge of accountability. So they spirits, they souls, they safe. You know, they go into peaceful rest. Even though they never had a chance to experience life yet, they didn't make it to the edge of accountability because of a no good father. This is very sad. This is very sad. Why are you gonna kill your children, bro? Even though he got unalived by the police, but he wasn't gonna make it in prison. They would have killed him in Angola. They would have shanked him up. They'd have gave him the Julius Caesar treatment. The Julius Caesar treatment is just shanking somebody in a group of dudes just coming up and shanking people. That's how they killed Julius Caesar. They shanked him. Every time I hear about somebody getting shanked in prison, I call it the Julius Caesar treatment. But yeah, this is sad though. You gonna kill your whole lineage like that, bro? And it just pisses me off because there's a lot of good people in this world wish they could have a family. A lot of millennial men and women wish they could have a family, but due to certain circumstances, maybe they didn't meet the right person, they keep getting rejected. I'm speaking for millennial men and women, and it's rougher for Gen Z. Gen Z, they're in a toxic era. And I think, I wonder how old the suspect, let me see how old the suspect was. I think, because they say he had a military background, but that doesn't give him the excuse. And I already know they're trying to put it on mental health and all that buffoonery. No, he knew what he was doing. Why are you gonna take it out on your children? I understand he had a domestic dispute with the woman he was dealing with, his wife and the girlfriend. Come on now. You gonna take it that far that you gotta kill your own seed, all 8 of them? No good bastard. Mm, Pathetic. And he going to torment. He ain't gonna see no peace in the spirit world in the afterlife. He going to the torment. He going to the torment. You know, he going to the torment, man. And we don't know how long this been going on. Maybe he been having some type of issues with his wife and girlfriend, but that don't give him the right to take it out on the children. What did these innocent children did to him to make him want to grab a gun and take them out, unalive them for no reason? This is sad. And I'm sure this got the whole Shreveport community in an uproar. A lot of people are hurt, you know. Okay, I'm on US Today. I'm on another article, US Today. Authorities are trying to piece together information as to why a gunman opened fire on Sunday and killed 8 children in the nation's deadliest mass shooting since January 2024. Now they want to call this they want to compare this to a deadliest mass shooting. And when I found out the suspect, it was a brother, because first I thought it would have been, somebody of the pale complexion, because we know they have a higher rep of being a mass shooter. What's up with some of these brothers becoming mass shooters, man? I know we go through a lot as a people. You know, we are the most disrespected man in the universe, black men, but that doesn't give us the right to go pick up a gun and go on a mass shooting. You know, yeah, that doesn't give us a right to go grab a gun, and then let alone he didn't unalive strangers. He unalive his own flesh and blood with that. That's the worst part about it. That's the sad part about it. He unalive his own flesh and blood. You know, his own seed that he cultivated in his loins and dispatching to his wife to carry for 9 months. And he gonna get rid of all that? Family's destroyed. A family destroyed all because of he couldn't manage his emotions, or he couldn't get no help, or they gonna always say it's mental health and all that, but Only the Most High knows the hearts of everybody that was involved. Only the Most High knows. And he's going to have to deal with that Most High's judgment at the end of the day. He's going to have to deal with that judgment. It's like all of us will when we cross over to the spirit realm and face that judgment. Okay, so his name was Shamar Elkins. Shamar Elkins. He shot the mother of his children and another one. Now, both of the women survived, but none of the children did. And now he gonna steal a car and get in a shootout with the police. That means he should have took his own self out. He probably had, what's up, millennial commentator? Man, what possessed him to do that? That's what I'm saying. We already know the hatred, jealousy, rage, negative spirits, unclean spirits, man. He could have had a legion. Because I saw a picture of him, and that picture of him looked like he had demons in him. Them eyes, man, like they say, the eyes are the window to the soul. And the picture, you know, of him they showed on the news, man, he looked at evil. He could have had a whole legion of demons in him. But the police took him out, though, because even if he would have made it to trial, he was going to get the death penalty or he would have got life in prison. It doesn't matter if he would have went to prison. He wasn't going to survive in the Louisiana prison, especially Angola. Come on now, because we already know inmates, that's one thing they hate. If you hurt a child or kill a child, they hate that. I know they got prison politics, you know, they got the gangs, they got the racial politics, but they will bring all those races together. That's a universal thing in prison. They hate people that, you know, that's a rapist, that harm children, that harm the elderly. They despise that. If you go to prison or jail and you in there for like hurting a child or killing a child, you Lord in crap. You Lord in dung. You Lord in dog crap. You know, dog crap got more value than your life if you're a person that go to prison for killing a child or harming a child or raping a child. You know, they still don't know what the motive was. It had to have been a domestic dispute. Maybe he was getting into it with his wife. They could have had an argument, but that doesn't give him the right to take his children out like that. They say the children were ages 3 to 11. Okay, the children, Jayla Elkins, 3 years old, Shayla Elkins, 5, Kayla, Layla, Markaden, Soraya, looks, she have a Hebrew name, Soraya. That's a Hebrew name she got. Kadarian Snow. Also, by judging by their last names, he probably could have had children by multiple women. Judging by their last names. I don't know, but anyway, they say it's all his children. You know, we don't know what was going on. Maybe his wife probably threatened to put him on child support or something. But look, if you have all them children, man, it's your duty as a man to take care of your seed. That's common sense. You see, that's the problem with some of these men in the world, man. They want to do the fun part when it comes to creating a child with their woman, but they don't want to take care of the child. They want to let their children fend for themselves in the world, you know. And I understand they got some men out there that's trying to do the right thing, but they baby mama is not right in the head. But that doesn't give them the right, you know, to not be in their children's life, because I think a man's supposed to be in their children's life by his God-given right, you know. And I know the family court is it's like it favors the woman more than the man, you know. But we can't really all put this on women, because at the end of the day, I'm speaking as men as a whole, as all races. It's weak men that's running this world, man. We got some weak ass men running this world. That's why Rome fell, because weak men was ruling. You know, they had the feminists back in the ancient world. Ain't nothing new under the sun, like it says in the book of Ecclesiastes. Ain't nothing new under the sun. All the stuff we see today, man, the Most High been seeing it, because he knows everything. He's all known, the Most High God. He's all known. But yeah, it's sad though, man. How many decent people. There's a lot of decent brothers out there that don't got children, you know. But it seems like the scumbags, the assholes, the low vibrational men, they get to have families and shit, you know. And like when I say about the women, you got some women out there that's barren, that can't have children. They'd be some of the best mothers. They'd be the best mothers, but they can't have children due to circumstances. Maybe their womb is barren. But you got some of them, they got a whole army of children, and they don't teach them children right. They just let their children do what they want. But it's not about that. It's about this ass clown that want to unalive his children, man. Why you gonna do that, man? That's sad. It's bad enough. Louisiana got a bad rep. Like it's like everything that comes with negativity, man. We in the top 10. But our food good, though. Everybody prays that the food good down here in Louisiana. That's all the good they gotta say about our state is the food is good. Or you go down south to Louisiana, we got some of the best food in the world. But anything else negative, man, we in the top 10, if not top 5. You know, they say the education I think our state is like the third poorest state. I think Mississippi is the poorest state. I think Louisiana is second. But that's a lie, because what makes the state poor? The corrupt politician. All these corrupt politicians, they pocket the money. They pocket the money and stuff, and they don't want to build up the state. You know, and there's opportunities out here. Every state have opportunities. It's not a lot of opportunities, but there are opportunities out here. But I don't know what caused him to do this, unalive his own children. It's sad. You know, he can't take it back because the deed is done, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't like hearing stuff like this when parents killing their own children. You know, that's the laws of the law. These children trusted him. They looked at him as their daddy. They looked at him as a hero, because that's what children do. They look up to their fathers and mothers, especially if their fathers ain't like they want to be like their fathers. They look at their father as a hero, you know. And then he had 3 sons and, you know, 5 daughters. I'm sure them daughters, all his daughters looked it up to him like he was a hero, like a champion or something. They would never thought their own father would unalive him like that. I don't care what he was going through with his wife or side chick or whatever, you know, because he had 2 women. He said he shot his wife and his allegedly girlfriend. So I guess she was the side piece. I don't know, but it's just a tragedy. You know, it's a damn tragedy. You know, it's bad enough we got a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. Possibility we might be going to war. You know, we got a crazy madman in office, the Orange Baboon. That Orange Baboon, he hell bent on bombing the hell out of Iran. You know, because we already know that's in a Gentiles nation to go to war. They bloodthirsty, man. You know, they got that draconian energy, that bloodthirsty draconian energy. They got to answer to their non-human powers. You know, they non-human power. And I mean by non-human, these wicked principalities. You know, some people call them demons, archons, reptilians. It's all the same thing. They all under the same umbrella. They wicked, the force of wickedness. You know, these world leaders, these politicians, they got to bow down to these non-human slave masters. Yeah, Donald Trump is a slave. All these world leaders, they slaves. I know we like to talk about the elite. They want to say, oh, the elite, man, they not really running nothing, because they all got to answer to Hashatan and his legions. So they slaves too. They puppets. Just like the president and these world leaders are puppets, the elite are puppets too. They got to follow the script that they non-human masters give them. If they don't follow their script, Hashatan coming to collect that soul just like that. He gonna collect it anyway. But if they don't follow the script Like he tell him to follow, he gonna come to collect quick. Why you think some of these celebrities be paranoid like that? They be crashing out some of these celebrities. Look what Kanye West, look what happened to Kanye West. They made that man lose his mind. Kanye West. Ever since he hooked up with the Kardashian witches, he lost his mind. And that should be a sign, a lesson for brothers, man. Leave these non-melanated women alone, man. Because the scriptures say Israel's supposed to be with Israel. Be with your own. You know, if the Most High God wanted everybody to be mixed up like that, he won't create all these other nations. It's all by his design. You know, when you read the story of the Tower of Babel in the book of Genesis, chapter 11, it's a reason why he confounded the languages. When he told the sons of Noah and their descendants, he gave them their own land and their own territory. But no, what humanity want to do? They want to try and defy the Most High, trying to build a tower to reach to the highest of the heavens. The Most High ain't gonna let that happen. And that's why he confounded the language. He wanted everything to be mixed up. I mean, Salakia. He wanted everything to be separated for a reason. And that's why he want Israel to be set apart. You know, there's a reason for that. But no, Israel, they want to be like the other nations. You know, they want to see the other nations. They look at the other nations doing buffoonery. They think it's cool to be a buffoon. No, it's not. It's not. It leads your nation to ruin. And that's why his people are in the state they in today. But that doesn't give this man the excuse to unalive his children. I know our people are in tough conditions, but that doesn't give him the right to unalive his children like that. You know, I don't, you know, it's just wrong. It's a bad action. Very wrong. And he's gonna have to answer for that too. You know. Now they say the women, they was the two women he shot, they're in critical condition. That's gonna be heavy on that. If the mother survived, by the grace of the Most High, if she survived, that's gonna destroy her for the rest of her life. She's gonna have to seek counseling. Yah forbid, I hope she don't unalive herself, because you never know, it could weigh on her so hard. I hope that doesn't happen. They might have to, you know, keep her evaluated psychologically, because that's gonna damage her for life. You know, to wake up to know that all 8 of her children ain't in the world no more. They all gone because of this selfish bastard. Because he couldn't man up and trying to go get some help or deal with his issues, or if he was feeling like unaliving something, he could have unalived himself. He should have just unalived himself. He didn't have to take innocent life like that. But ultimately, he should have seek help, trying to get some help, get his issues resolved. You know? Yep. And sadly, it's gonna be most incidents like this, because you know the way the world is going, you know, people just losing it. That's why we gotta stay prayed up. You know, don't crash out, because it's easy to crash out and it's hard to get out of trouble. You know, and it's like they want people to crash out, but don't fall for it. Don't give them your energy, because once you crash out, man, you can't undo it. It's gonna open up a whole can of worms that you wish you never opened up. Straight up. Yep. I mean, it's crazy, you know. You know, just like the incident with the sister Ashley Janae, you know, so say she was unalive in Tanzania or Zanzibar. She was dealing with a Gentile man, you know, but allegedly, you know, she was down playing brothers. Now, you know, she was down playing brothers, you know, talking down on brothers. She was a divester, you know, and like I see they have a lot of people saying rest in preference. Yeah, rest in preference. I'm not gonna say rest in peace to somebody that's valued, that's pushing for my annihilation, Because these divestors, these swirlers, these divestors, they anti-black male, they anti-black family, they pro-black annihilation. If you pro-black annihilation, I see you as an enemy. I can't trust you. If you advocate for the annihilation of my brothers, black men, you know, you're not a black woman. You're a demon wearing a black woman's skin. You know, same thing with these brothers that's pushing for black women to be annihilated and uplifting Becky. You're not a black man. You're a demon wearing a black man's skin. You might be a non-human. You might be a reptilian because everybody not human. Everybody in this world not human. You know, yeah, you may see people in society, they may walk like human, they may talk like a human, but spiritually, man, they not human. They got no soul. And I think some of these divestors and these brothers that's anti-black woman, they non-humans. They got no souls. Because if we supposed to be the chosen people of the Most High, so-called Negroes, we supposed to have the Most High spirit in us. We soul. But yeah, everybody talking about that on social media. You know, she was 31 years old, and I think the Gentile dude she was dealing with, he probably was like maybe in his 40s or in 50s. Allegedly, he was a millionaire. And you see, that's what happened when you want to go after materialistic wealth. You know, it backfired on you. You know, and like I said, there's a lot of divestors on this platform, like Cynthia G. I'm surprised they allow her to come back on YouTube because they kicked off of YouTube, but somehow she came back and she was pushing for women sisters to abort black babies, like black male babies. That's the spirit of Pharaoh and King Herod. That's what they did to our ancestors in the Bible. If you read the book of Exodus, Pharaoh ordered all the firstborn males to be executed. They took the firstborn Hebrew babies, male, cast them into the Nile River, fed them to crocodiles, which was a sacrifice to Sobek, the crocodile god, the Egyptian crocodile god, Sobek. They sacrificed innocent Hebrew male babies to Sobek, the crocodile god. And fast forward to antebellum slavery, Louisiana, Florida, and southern states, they fed Hebrew babies to alligators. See, the Egyptians fed them to crocodiles, but the Gentiles, the European Gentiles, fed them to alligators. The difference between an alligator and they really the same animal, but the difference between a crocodile and an alligator got a round snout, and a crocodile got a pointed snout, the nose, the head structure. But they're really the same type of animal, reptiles. Difference is alligator in the swamp, crocodiles, they could be in salt water and fresh water, I think. But yeah, you got a lot of our youngsters, man, they don't even know the history. They ignorant, they willfully ignorant. They think everything is peaches and cream. No, racism ain't going nowhere. Racism ain't going nowhere until the Most High sent his son Christ to come back to set the record straight, to shake up this wicked world. We still got to deal with racism, you know. And now you got this anti-black movement talking about black fatigue. Yes, it's a true statement about that, but it should be like ignorant fatigue, What they mean by black fatigue? Now that they want to paint us all as ignorant and ghetto. That's false. Yeah, we got ignorant, N-word fatigue, but black people fatigue, no, they got it messed up. We got the ratchet fatigue, we don't like the ratchet part. That's not who we really is. I find it funny how they want to say they got black fatigue, but yet the dominant society, they pushing for our people to continue to act ratchet. You see, they're not threatened by our people acting ratchet because you know why? It's keeping our people in sin. The longer they could keep our people sinning, they stay in power. And they know that. They know it. The powers that be knows this because they know who we are. The devil know who we are, man. The devil, he know who God's chosen people is. Why you think they push like all the low vibrational music in the movies? They want to push the alphabet agenda. you know, the interracial agenda, anything. It's like they got a problem against black on black love. It's a war on black love. If you ever notice in the commercials, whether it's movies, commercials, even in the newspaper, it's either a mixed race couple, you know, be a white dude with a black woman, or a black man with an Asian woman, or a black man with a white woman, you know. But in most cases, it's a damn white dude with a sister, you know. And yet, you know, it's the powers that be, because they twisted, man. These non-human entities, they are twisted. It's like they want to mess with the human race. They want to have everything in confusion because they hate humanity and they hate God's chosen people the most. So they figure if they could keep God's people in sin, they stay in power. And they knows this. And they got many agents. You know, they got many agents, these so-called pastors, these politicians, these celebrities, these entertainers, athletes. They are agents. They all agents. And they can't spell truth, because the minute they spell real truth, man, they out the door. They either losing their livelihood, they losing their assets, their finances, and ultimately they could even lose their life if they speak up the truth. Yes, indeed. But yeah, it's a cold, cold world. It's crazy out there. It's crazy, you know. And there's gonna be more crazy stories going on because some are not even here yet. Summer, it's just been a crazy spring. We could be considering spring. We're not even in summer. It's not even summer, and we got all kind of crazy stuff going on. You know, hip hop legend, African Bambaataa passed away. I'm not gonna tell him rest in peace neither, because he abused so many children. You know, I'm not gonna give him a rest in peace either. I'm gonna just say rest in torment. You know, because you know you did wrong. You destroyed a lot of innocent children's lives, a lot of innocent boys. You sick bastard. You know, oh, you're not supposed to speak ill of the dead. I don't give a damn. You violated these young boys, you know, and sadly, a lot of violators get protected in the so-called black community. You know, people that violate children, they need to be put to death, man. They need to be put to death, but unfortunately, they are protected. You know, and Hassan Campbell, he talked about it. You know, I'm sure he probably got mixed feelings about it, but like he said in his video, he said people telling Bambaataa to rest in peace, but what about the victims still living a nightmare? Yeah, his victims are still living a nightmare. Even though he passed away, he died. All his victims, man, they still got to live with the regret, the torment, you know, because they was taken advantage of as children, you know, and it's eating up Hassan Campbell, you know, that, you know, it caused it. I mean, it just messed him up mentally, and I'm sure it messed up all his victims mentally. But yeah, I don't get him, man. Come on now, you was like allegedly one of the so-called founding fathers of hip hop back in the day, and I'm sure. And then he was in New York. I'm sure he had many beautiful women throwing themselves at him. And you rather violate little boys? You sick bastard! I don't care if he passed away. This is sickness. You got all that clout back in the 80s and 90s. You know, in the beginning stages of hip hop, allegedly a so-called founding father of hip hop. You had all that clout. You had the swag, you had the clout, you had the charisma, and I'm sure you had many beautiful sisters and probably Latina women because he was in New York. But manly sisters throwing themselves at him. And you gonna turn all that down, you dumb sodomite, wicked bastard. You gonna turn that down just to go violate children? You a sick bastard. And they protected him so many years, they protected him. You know, they protected him. They want to deny the claim. But like I said, he gonna have to answer to the Most High for that. He gonna have to answer to the Most High for that, man. And only the Most High knows how many children he violated. Manly little boys. I don't know if he messed with little girls, but they say he manly little boys he violated. You know, but he's sick, man. He a sick bastard for that shit. Straight up. So, and maybe that was part of the judge because they say he died of cancer complications. So maybe that's the Most High judgment. You know, maybe the Most High told the angel of death to smite him with cancer, and the cancer ate him up slowly. But he still got to deal with his he still got to deal with the sins that he committed against them children. You know, when he get judged by the Most High. But yeah, a lot of wickedness, bro, going on. Yep. Well, I see a lot of crazy stuff going on. It's not even summertime yet. It's not even summer. Just wait. Just wait. It's gonna be more crazy stuff going on in the summer. Because this whole decade just been a wild ride. Like I said, it's like ever since 2020 came and the years after 2020, it's like the world died, man. It's like everybody in purgatory. It's like we in purgatory. That's what life feels like. It feels like we're in purgatory because nothing the same no more. That's all I see on this platform. People making videos about people not the same no more. Life don't feel the same no more. It doesn't, especially for us millennials, because we know that's what's so special about us millennials. We grew up in the old world, the remnants of the old world. We knew how life was before all this crazy stuff. We knew how life was before social media came, before the internet, even before the internet, because most of us millennials, we was like exposed to like the internet, but the beginning stage. We grew up in the old internet era, not this new age internet. We grew up in the old internet. And I mean, I miss the old internet. Part of me missed the old internet because we didn't have social media. We didn't have these YouTube shorts, these Instagram reels. If we had to go look for information on the internet, we had to go to websites. We had to go to certain. We didn't even have Wikipedia. We didn't have none of that. Like when I was in middle school and high school, going on the internet, we had to like if I was interested in a certain topic or anime or something or movie, we had to go to third party websites. I missed them. Speak like for Dragon Ball Z. Like when I first got into the anime Dragon Ball Z, man, I had to go to these third party websites that was created by fans themselves. And I mean, they had the pictures, they had the character arcs, the biographies, and all that. I mean, these websites was off the chain. And this was like back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm talking about the age of the old internet. I miss the old internet, not this social media cesspool that we have today. Because that's what's killing the internet. That's what killed the internet, social media. That was the nail in the coffin for the internet, social media. Because if you want to look for certain information, all you got to do is go on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and look at this random AI video short about a certain topic, and bam, you gonna believe that. Just because that doesn't make you, that doesn't mean it's all true. If you see everything in the YouTube short, Instagram reel, like I say, I miss the old internet, and most millennials we know about the old internet. Now Gen Z, they got it. They was born with this internet. They was born in the internet. They was born in this social media internet. I remember being children as millennials, our parents took pictures with Polaroid cameras. We had to go to like Sears, JC Penney and take pictures. You know, you had like the companies that took family pictures. You don't see that no more these days. Like children that's being born today, their parents take their picture with their phones and post it on Facebook. Like if they have a baby, they post a picture of their newborn baby on Facebook, YouTube, or any social media platform instead of take a picture and put in a photo album. Most children today don't even know what a photo album is, a physical photo album. That's why I say that was part of the old world. You know, like Gen X and millennials, that's the last two generations, man, that grew up in the old world. Well, the boomers too, you know, but I'm speaking of like younger generations that came after the boomers, you know. Yeah. And I guess that kind of was make Gen Z jealous of millennials. You know, I think that's why you see some Gen Z making videos obsessed with us millennials. But as we become older, Once we become in our 50s as millennials, we're gonna be the new boomers. They're gonna treat us like the generations that come after Gen Z, they're gonna treat millennials as the new boomers. Just watch. I'm telling y'all, we are the future boomers. They're gonna look at us as the future boomers for some strange reason, you know. Because once all the boomers transition, into the spirit realm, you know, I ain't gonna say all boomers die off. I'm gonna just say transition because I don't really like saying the word die. Like if somebody that passed on, I really say transition. They transition. I don't really like trying to say passing away or died. I just say so and so transition. That sound more better. That's just me. That's just my opinion. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I just wanted to come on here and talk about this because it's a very sad story. It is upsetting me. It upsetting me. It just pisses me off. You know, he didn't have to do that to his own seed. They didn't even get to experience life. You know, they didn't even get to experience life. Like I said, if he was going through something, he could have taken his own self out. He didn't have to take innocent life. Or ultimately, he didn't even have to do that. He could have gone seek help, get counseling or something, separate from his wife or girlfriend, cool down. That's the best thing to do in a domestic dispute, man. Take a hike, walk away. If you get into an argument, man, walk away, man. Go for a hike. Because that domestic stuff ain't worth it. And policemen say that, like most police officers, they say that's the most dangerous calls they got to answer, a domestic dispute. Most cops, they hate the fact they be on edge when they got to go answer a domestic dispute. Most cops, that's what they say. Most cops say they most violent calls is the domestic ones. And I'm sure a lot of cops, they get PTSD from going to some of them calls like that, a domestic call. They get PTSD. But yeah, he didn't have to do that, man. He didn't have to do that. Yep. But yeah, like I said, man, I don't know. Just imagine if YouTube stopped paying people. Just imagine if YouTube followed the steps of TikTok, stop paying content creators. You know how many people gonna lose their marbles, especially if they rely on this as full time. I'm just saying. You know how many people gonna lose their marbles if YouTube stop paying people? But I miss the old YouTube too, man. When they say broadcast yourself, the minute they dropped that slogan, that's when YouTube went downhill. Because you remember the old YouTube, they say YouTube broadcast yourself. You could have be yourself. You could have say anything you want. YouTube used to be, I'm telling you, I remember back in the old, people used to post all kind of crazy stuff on YouTube. They used to post adult content. They used to post clips of people getting unalive. Oh yeah, YouTube was rated X back in the day. You know how they be posting adult content on X, known as Twitter? I still say Twitter. I'm sorry, Elon Musk. I'ma still say Twitter. I know it's called X now. I'ma still say Twitter. Now they post adult content on Twitter. But what I want to say, yeah, YouTube used to be like that too. They used to post all kind of crazy stuff on YouTube back in the early 2000s. But ever since Google brought out YouTube, that's when they went downhill. And I miss Google Hangouts. Y'all remember Google Hangouts? I miss Google Hangouts. I wish they would have never got rid of Google Hangouts. But some buffoon that work at Google decided to get rid of Google Hangouts, man. That was a buffoon move right there. Because I still rather Google Hangouts than StreamYard. Even though StreamYard could be almost similar to Google Hangouts, it's not going to replace Google Hangouts. I'm sorry. Because Google Hangouts can always be the GOAT. When it comes to live streaming platforms, that's just my opinion. StreamYard, not Stream, I mean Google Hangouts was the GOAT. And I wish they was to bring it back. But even if they was to bring Google Hangouts back, it's not gonna be the same like the original. It's gonna be they're gonna have to have all these new rules and regulations, just like they do with YouTube. Yep, all kind of buffoonery and stuff. But yeah, And the algorithm, man, like back then, the YouTube algorithm wasn't like it is today. Because anybody could have blew up back in the day on YouTube. Anybody could have blew up. Your channel, you could have gained over 1,000 subscribers in a few days back in the day on YouTube. Not today, especially if the algorithm don't find your content, if people not liking your videos and YouTube not promoting your channel, you ain't gonna blow up like that. And that's why you got a lot of content creators, they buying subs, they selling their soul, they selling not, they buying subs, they buying views. A lot of these big YouTubers, they do that. Don't be fooled. They are buying subs, they buying views. That's nothing but bots, you know. Nah, they got a lot of channels that grow organically, but it's a small percentage. It's a small percentage of channels that grow organic. You know, that's why I say a lot of these big time content creators, they all the same. They use the same sound bites, they use the same thumbnails. Nobody original no more. Only a few people that's original. And the people that is original, they don't get a lot of views. Their channel's not growing. Or they might let their channel grow up to like maybe 10,000 subscribers, and that's when they're gonna cap them. It's a cutoff point. You know, it's a cutoff point. You know, you might even get approached by some shady people, say, look, your channel, I know your channel ain't growing. We could help your channel grow. And that's when they gonna want you to go through certain doors and stuff. I'm telling you, man, a lot of these YouTubers selling their soul. Don't be fooled. Just because they got a silver or gold plaque, man, that don't mean they did shit legit. I'm just being real. And I know some people might hear me talking like this. Oh, man, you just sound like a hater, man. You hating because your channel ain't growing. No, it ain't about that. It's the truth. A lot of these YouTubers you see with these silver play buttons, these gold play buttons, even a diamond, especially if they got a diamond, because you know they got a diamond play button. I think if you get 10 million subscribers, you get a diamond play button. Any YouTuber that got a diamond play button, man, they sold. Matter of fact, I'm about to Google what's the highest play button. I know there's a, let me see, YouTube. Oh, I'm about to Google it. Highest achievement. So let me see. Okay, the highest standard YouTube achievement award is the Red Diamond Creator Award, granted for reaching 100 million subscribers. It features a play button with a large dark red crystal, honoring elite high milestone channels such as T Series and Mr. Beast. Oh, we know Mr. Beast sold his soul. Man, Mr. Beast had to do so many rituals. Come on now, Mr. Beast just look like a regular, average, corny white boy, man. Who knows? He could probably be a son of a small hat. I'm just saying. Because that's who own YouTube, the small hats. That's who own that. But yeah, any YouTuber with a diamond, and red diamond play button, even the some with the silver and gold play buttons, man, they sold out. They sold out. And there's one particular YouTuber, y'all probably know who I'm talking about. He used to be one of the top 3 in the manosphere. He was like in the big 3. We probably know he sold out because he got over 800,000 subscribers. And YouTube used to always attack his channel. YouTube would never, once upon a time, YouTube would never let him get to 20,000 subscribers. But for some strange reason, this dude, he got 800,000, almost at 900. He gonna hit that million. He gonna hit that million. All of a sudden, he got 800,000 subscribers. Just like another one, you got these conservative Negroes like Anthony Brian Logan. He got over 1 million subscribers. Anthony Brian Logan, ABL. He was in the Black Manosphere. I'm telling you, man, it's like a lot of these weirdos getting a lot of views. If you ever notice, it's these weird ass buffoons getting 100,000 subscribers. Yeah, it's crazy. But like I say, that's who they want to push. They want to push the buffoonery. That's what they want to push, the buffoonery. And another content creator is a non-poetic Flacco. That brother, poetic Flacco, because I watched Hassan video the other day. He was talking about Andrew Tate and Poetic Flacco going off on broke people. Man, and Poetic Flacco, this weird ass Negro, this weirdo, talking about, oh, I made my own million on YouTube. I made my first million on YouTube. And I'm saying to myself, yeah, Negro, you sold your soul. You sold your soul. He annoying, man. I watched a few of his videos. He just he just annoying. He just got them vibes that annoy the hell out of me. Poetic Flacco. It's like these weird ass niggas, man. These weirdos, these cornball niggas, getting all the clout and views. But anybody that's real and solid, man, YouTube ain't trying to back them up because they know real solid people ain't gonna sell out. They gonna be their authentic self. And shout out to all the content creators that's solid out there, man. That's just being themselves. That's standing 10 toes down. They ain't for the buffoonery. They not trying to go through certain doors and jump through certain hoops to get the YouTube trinkets and awards and stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of these weirdos out here, man, getting their channels but that don't mean they doing well in life just because they got 100,000 subscribers. They could be more poor than some. Like I said, if you got a regular job, if you working a 9 to 5 job, you good, you winning. Especially if you getting decent income. Don't quit your job, man, for this YouTube social media bullshit. You got a lot of grifters on this YouTube platform talking about, oh, F a 9 to 5 job, quit your damn job. It ain't worth it. Don't listen to these deceivers, man. They some grifters. They getting taken care of. They probably got a job themselves, but they want you to quit your job. How iron is that? That's hypocrisy. You telling people to quit your job, but yeah, you making good income. You bull crapping people, man. It's a bunch of bullshit out there, man. Shit. That's why I can't stand, like I said, DoDash, she another one. She was talking shit about people working jobs. Now, allegedly, she living in her car. Allegedly, she living in her car out there in Texas. And Dante in London, he doing struggle content. Young brother, Dante in London, you should have been had your shit together. You gonna let go of a good woman like Hannah? You gonna regret that, boy. You gonna regret that. You see, you in your late 20s. Once you hit your 30s, you see, you ain't in your 40s yet. Wait till you get to your 40s. I hope you live a long life, Dante London. I pray to the Most High you live a long, long life so you can feel the punishment of the regret of losing a good woman like Hannah. I pray to the Most High God of Israel that you live a long life. I'm talking about, if it's the will of the Most High, you live to be 102 or something so you could live with the regret of what you've done to that good woman Hannah. And I'm sure she ain't perfect either, because none of us perfect. She got dirt too. We all got dirt. But, bruh, now you making content about no apartment want to rent to you because your credit bad. You keep effing up your credit. You don't pay your bills on time. You can't rely on this YouTube shit to live, man. You got to have a job, bruh. That's common sense. I don't know what's wrong with a lot of people. It's not just Gen Z. It's a lot of millennials that don't want to work. They just want to live off of social media. Social media is not a stable income. The only way you're going to get stable income on YouTube or any social media platform is if you sell your soul. You got to be on Mr. Beast level. You got to be on iShowSpeed level. You got to be on Kai Cenat, and all these big time in real life streamers. You got to be on a level. And we already know they went through them doors. They went through them doors. But as an average person, as a regular person, man, keep your job. Don't forfeit don't forfeit your job for this social media bull crap. But yeah, what I want to see, yeah. Don't listen to these content creators talking about, oh, quit your job and all that, because they deceive us. And like Dante London, man, you just destroyed your own channel. You want to talk crap against your viewers and all that. You want to boast and brag, man. Man, you should have had, I'm sure you had, and then you got a CDL too. You got a CDL, bro. You should be driving a big rig. You should be, well, allegedly, I think that's what he do now. He drives school buses. Allegedly, he a bus driver. Man, if you don't want to drive school bus, you could drive a garbage truck. Man, these garbage truck drivers make damn good money. I don't care how funky that truck smelling. You making some good funky money, legit funky ass money. Because let me tell you something, them garbage, When them garbage truck drivers start seeing them tracks and get their raises, they don't care how funky that truck smell. They ignore that smell. They in their truck handling business, dumping them dumpsters, running into the damn landfill, dumping all that filth in the landfill. And when it's time to go home and collect that check, man, they ain't worrying about that funky smelling truck. Yeah, or he could be a dump truck driver, because he got a C there. I don't know if he got a class A. I think he got a class B. I think class B, you could drive like garbage trucks, school buses, cement trucks, the dump trucks. You had a triaxle dump. No, I think I think you could drive a triaxle dump truck with a class B. Now class A, you could drive. I think class A, that's when you drive the big rigs and anything. Once you get a class A C there, you could drive all type of big trucks. But yeah, you just letting that go to waste. But he don't want to work though. That's what his problem is. He don't want to work. He just want to sit back and live comfortably off of YouTube. Life don't work that way. The only way you're gonna live, even these big time influencers going for broke. Don't be deceived. You got a lot of these big time, because that's one thing about social media fame. It doesn't last forever. Yeah, you may be on top for 5 years, but once you're not on top no more, your channel start going out. As a big time influencer, you start losing clout, you start losing views. That's the punishment of social media. You will be on top for a season or two, and once your season is over with, it's a done deal. There's no coming back from it, unless you sell your soul even further. That's the only way. Facts, big facts. Yep. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here, man. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, I might go live later on my gaming channel because I'm off today. I'm enjoying my day off. I gotta go do some things around the place, take care of business. But I might come back later on my gaming channel, Millennial Gamer 84. That's my gaming channel, Millennial 84 Gamer. You know, yeah. But like I said, the algorithm just don't push people channel like that. I don't know why. That's because a lot of views. It's like, and you know what? Another reason why, because everybody want to be content creators, everybody want to be on here. It's saturated. Everything is saturated in life right now. Even with gig work, because once upon a time, man, like in a gig industry, gig work like DoorDash and Uber Eats, it was only a small percentage of people doing it. Now everybody want to do it because they look at it as a quick dollar, but they don't understand you got to work way more harder than somebody that's working a regular job doing gig work. And plus, you're putting your car on the line, you're putting more wear and tear on your vehicle. So, like, I should do a video about that gig work versus a 9 to 5. In my opinion, I tell somebody get trying to get you a regular job, because a gig work is good for a side hustle or if you're on hard times, but it's always better to have a stable income job. That got benefits. You got a set schedule. If you can find a job with a set schedule and benefits, and good benefits and a decent pay, you better hold on to that. You better hug that like a grizzly bear. Don't be like these dumb buffoons on YouTube and social media talking about, oh, quit your job, man. It's not worth it. These jobs are draining your soul. Yeah, they got some soul sucking jobs out there that suck your energy in. But the best thing to do is endure until you find something better. That's what I tell somebody. If you feel like you're working a soul crushing job, endure, pray to the Most High, till you find something better. Yeah, Millennial 84 Gamer. That's my gaming channel. The icon is a black elven druid in a forest. That's the icon. Yep. But anyway, man, shout out to everybody that's watching. Rest in torment to that bastard that murdered his 8 children. Rest in torment, to African Bambada, and rest in preference to Ashley Janae. Rest in preference, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. I might come back. All depends, because that's one thing I don't like when you're off, man. That time go by fast. I'm off these be going by fast, but it's all good though. It's all good because I'm be off these 2 days, go back to work the next 2 days, and then we'll be off the weekend. All praises to the Most High. So ain't nothing to complain about. All praise. Great glory to the Most High. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing, being off for the weekend, man. I ain't gonna lie. That's a beautiful thing. When you have a job and you be off for the weekend, let alone Friday through Sunday, let alone, that's a blessing. Let alone, because to be honest, all jobs should go follow that formula. I think the work week should be Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday, and everybody have Saturday and Sunday off, or Friday through Sunday. All depending on what type of job. I think if all jobs was to follow that formula, pay people a decent pay, a lot of Americans would be happy. A lot of people will be happy. They won't be on this social media platform complaining about the job market and stuff. Mm-mm. Yeah, Millennial Gamer 80. I think Millennial Gamer 80 vote 337. Hold on, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Hold up a second. Yeah, Millennial Gamer 84. Mm-hmm. Let me see. I think the last stream I did was a few days ago on the 15th. Yeah, I was playing Elder Scrolls Online. I was playing Elder Scrolls Online. I got back into Elder Scrolls Online. I created me a new character today too. I created me a Khajiit Warden, so I might be playing with that character next time I stream Elder Scrolls Online. Man, I juggle through so many games, and a lot of people do that these days. They juggle through certain games. You be focused on one game for a week or a month. Next thing you know, you're playing something else because they keep coming out with game after game every month. You can't have time to focus on one game. Yeah, peace and blessings. Yeah, but yeah, man. It's stories like that. I don't like hearing stories like that, though. Well, enough of that. Go ahead and get off of here. I'll be like I said, that's one habit I still have when it comes to doing streams. I'll be saying I'm about to get off here and I'll be talking for the next 10, 15 minutes. Next thing you know, it's 30 minutes. Next thing you know, I'm on here for another hour. That's one habit I don't think I'm gonna get rid of when it comes to doing live streams. Because I'm long-winded, man. That's just an Israelite thing, man. We some long-winded people, man. So-called black people, we long-winded, man. That's why you got some brothers be on the panel, be like, "I land my plane here." I know there's a lot of brothers, they started using that talking point. They be, "I'm gonna land my plane here." you know. Yep. Oh yeah, because we long-winded, man. Yeah, long-winded. But all right, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.